Hello and welcome to this session, which is focusing on releasing around your shoulders and upper back. We're going to be doing some exercises which focus mobilizing the shoulder joint itself, and then we're also going to do quite a lot of exercises to mobilize your rib cage. So this can be really beneficial in providing a comfortable base of support for your shoulders to rest on. So that's why we're doing that. The only thing that you'll need is a block, or if you don't have a block, you can have a cushion. It's just to rest your head on in side lying. So we're going to come down to the mat, find yourself in a relaxation position, lying on your back, and just take a moment to rest your body heavy onto the floor. Looking straight up to the ceiling, we're going to start off with ribcage closure. So you're going to float your fingertips up towards the ceiling, reach your hands all the way back towards the mat without losing neutral spine and pelvis. Float your hands back up towards the ceiling and then release your hands back down by your sides. If you like a breathing pattern, you can inhale to float your arms. As you exhale, reach your fingertips back. Inhaling, drawing your hands back up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling, releasing them down by your sides. Keep going with this in your own time. You're going to be using just a gentle connection to your abdominals as your arms reach back so that your spine stays in neutral. And the thing to think about here is really lengthening your arms out of your shoulder sockets. So at every point, I want you to be thinking of creating this huge arc, reaching from your armpits all the way up to your fingertips. So there's always this sense of length and space around your shoulders, of your upper arms in your shoulders, as you're moving your arms. We're going to go for this next one as your last one. And I want you to finish with your hands reaching up towards the ceiling, draw your palms to face one another, and we'll move into some shoulder blade slides. Start to inhale, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, slide your shoulder blades back down into the floor. As you're inhaling, your shoulder blades will part across the back of your ribs. And then as you exhale, you're going to release your shoulder blades heavy into the mat, keeping your arms straight. As much as possible, think of reaching from your armpits to your pinky fingers again when you're taking your shoulder blade slides. And here we are just mobilizing your shoulder blades across the back of your ribs. If you start feeling any tension around your neck or upper shoulders, you want to keep the movement a little bit smaller. So you're just going to the point where it's just your shoulder blades parting and your upper arms reaching out of your shoulder sockets. Let's finish up here with your last one. Release your hands down to the side and then just roll yourself over onto one side. We're going to come to sit. You can be cross-legged here, or you can be in a long frog, so whatever suits your body. And if you need to use a block or a cushion underneath you to prop yourself up, then that's fine. We're going to begin with some waist twists. So bring your hands to rest on your breastbone. You're going to turn through your head, your neck, your upper ribs, and then your lower ribs are going to follow. And then you're going to return from bottom to top, so lower ribs, upper ribs, head and neck. As you rotate and spiral, you're going to inhale, and then as you exhale, you will return to the midline. I want you to start thinking about length and elongation in your spine. So as you inhale and spiral, can you grow a little taller? And then as you exhale and center, it's almost like you lose a little bit of height throughout your spine and ribs. Inhaling, reaching the crown of your head up away from your sit bones, and then exhaling to return. Keep going in your own time, following your own breathing rhythm, so you can go quicker or slower than me. And we're going to go for another one to each side. Bringing yourself into center. If your legs are crossed, just cross them in the other direction. Place your hands down by your sides. We're moving into side reaches. Let's start off by floating your right hand up towards the ceiling. I'm going to be mirroring you. You're going to sequentially move through your spine, going up and over just as far as you can keep neutral pelvis. Pause here and breathe into your top ribs, top waist. Keep your side bend with your spine, but reach your arm down towards the floor and ripple into center. Alternating sides, inhaling, reaching from your shoulder all the way to your fingertips. As you exhale, you go up and over, thinking of a long side bend. So top ear, armpit, waist, reaching up towards the ceiling. Inhaling and expand into your top ribs and waist. As you exhale, reach your fingertips as far away from your shoulder as possible to bring yourself back into center. Keep going with these. Inhaling, floating your arm. Exhale, sequential movement into a long side bend. Both sides of your waist stay elongated. Inhale, feel your top ribs fanning open. As you exhale, release your arm and center. Inhaling, floating your arm. And exhale to find that sequential movement through your spine. Keep your sit bone rooting down to the floor. Take a big breath in, expand your top ribs and waist. As you exhale, release your arm and center your spine. We're going to take one last one to each side. And then reaching your fingertips down, centering through your spine. We're going to come now into some side lying. So bring yourself down onto one side, have your block or your cushion just nearby. And we're going to start off with your head resting in your hands. So your hands are kind of in a curl up type position, fingertips clasped around the back of your head. Legs in an oyster, a little bit of lift in your underneath waist, and then you're going to start to open your top elbow towards the ceiling. Begin to sequentially spiral through your ribs, keeping your legs and pelvis as centered as possible. Then draw your elbow back up towards the ceiling, restacking and drawing your elbows in front of your face. We're going to inhale as you open your elbow. As you exhale, soften into your rotation, trying to allow gravity to do a little bit of work here. As you inhale, reaching your elbow back up towards the ceiling and then exhaling to close. As you spiral backwards, you want to think of a little bit of opposition around your pelvis. So think of your top hip and your top knee reaching forwards. We're going to take this next one as your last one. And then grab your block or your cushion. You're going to place that underneath your head, and you want, if you're using a block, just to place it backwards so that your head's resting at the front. You're going to find your hands lying one on top of each other, and we're going to move into chalk circles. Start to reach your fingertips along the floor. You can look towards your fingertips as you take this huge circle, taking your arm back behind you, out to the side, finding your ribcage spiral here. Reach your fingertips back and up overhead, and then find your fingertips touching. You're going to start off by inhaling to reach your arm. As you exhale, you're starting to find the rotation and spiraling around your ribs and spine. Inhaling, reaching your fingertips away from your arm, away from your shoulder, sorry, and then exhaling, drawing yourself back to the start position. Again, you want to resist a little bit around your pelvis, so most of this movement is coming through your upper spine to mid-spine. And again, we want to think about really lengthening your arm out of your shoulder socket. So reaching from your armpits, your upper arm, all the way to your fingertips. And this can really just help open some of the tissues that cross the front of your chest, namely your pectorals, major and minor. We're going to switch over to your second side. So bringing yourself to lie on the other side. Set yourself up again. Legs are bent in an oyster. Hands are clasped behind your head. Find length and elongation through your spine before you start, and then start to open your top elbow up towards the ceiling. Sequentially rotate and spiral through your ribcage and spine. Draw your elbow back up towards the ceiling and then close your elbows towards one another. It's an inhale as you take your elbow up towards the ceiling, and exhale to soften into your rotation. Inhale to draw your elbow back up towards the ceiling, and exhale to close. Remember, you want that little bit of resistance around your pelvis, so you can use your abdominals and connection to your pelvic floor, but you can also just think of your top knee and top hip reaching forwards as you rotate backwards. We've got one last one to go, really enjoying this sense of gravity helping to find your rotation. And then grab your block, place your block underneath your head. Moving into chalk circles on this side, hands resting one on top of the other. Reach your fingertips forwards, skimming them along the floor. Look towards your hands. Start to rotate through your ribcage and your spine, reaching your fingertips as far away from your shoulder as possible. And then you come back the way that you came, reaching your fingertips up overhead, circling your arm back in that giant arc. Going again, inhaling, reaching. Exhaling to soften into the rotation. Inhale, draw your fingertips back up towards the top of your mat, and then exhale, drawing yourself back down. We've got two more to go on this side. I just think this is one of the best exercises ever, and if you're anything like me, you'll feel some crunching and things happening as you're rotating backwards. It's all good. Lovely. And then bring yourself up to sit. We are going to finish with your legs crossed or in a long frog. And we're just going to take a couple of broad breaths into your ribs. So start to inhale and expand your ribs out to the side. As you exhale, feel your ribs closing and softening. On this next breath, focus on your breath going front and backwards, as well as out to the sides. And then exhale, soften, feel your ribcage closing. On this last inhale, I want you to find a sense of breathing three-dimensionally and also thinking of lengthening through your spine. So you're breathing all the way up towards your armpits. And then as you exhale, feel your shoulders just resting on top of your ribs. I hope this session's been helpful for you. I hope you feel free and relaxed around your shoulders, and you can do this as much as you want.